Alright, we're now going live. I'm sure no one's actually here right now, so
It's okay.
it's okay because I'm actually gonna end up putting this on YouTube too. So we'll bring in some traction for our Sundays and Wednesday nights.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good? Okay. We'll turn down the music as well. So, which one do we want to do? So
Um,
we're gonna do our manipulation this time, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Um, let's do my ex reached out with apologies.
With our apologies.
With reached out with apologies, yeah.
Okay. So my ex reached out with apologies. First of all, they spelled out wrong, but we're not going to criticize that.
That's not the main
Yeah,
focus.
exactly. How
Rule number one,
do,
this is a safe space for OPs. Don't break the rules.
why did we break the rules exposing this?
No.
Okay.
Anyways, this is a post from Direct Inside 5433.
You wanna start?
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, read it. We need to hear your beautiful voice a little bit more.
Okay. So I was at 3 weeks no contact with my ex. Out of the blue, she calls and leaves a voicemail, telling me that she has lost her uncle and that she realized she wanted me in life. She was sorry about how everything happened and wanted to tell me that. I debated replying, but I simply texted back offering my condolences. After I replied, it's as though the floodgates opened. She would send me text messages every day apologizing with scriptures and how she wants her life turned around.
Hmm.
She called one more time and I ignored it. Finally, 1 week later, I called her and I feel even more hurt. The biggest problem was trust and her actions. Should, would, in
She,
what?
yeah, okay, yeah.
I guess she would in the past lie about who she was with, where, and also would never do for me.
It would never do
She
for
couldn't
me.
even drive to see me, but could drive to the club with her friends. We dated for 3.5 years.
It's a long time to date.
Yeah, for her to not come see.
Yeah,
On the phone, I told her about my trust and explained to her it all and how she has texted me lots in the past saying the same things, but her actions and life were the exact same. At the end of the call, she had nothing to say and texted no response. Yesterday morning, I saw her sending hearts and flirting with a guy on social media. So, anyways, I decided to call her one last time. In that call, she had told me that she was afraid to show me any worth and to do any actions because she didn't want to get hurt again. Her getting hurt was me getting upset after finding out that she was texting a guy for a year during our relationship
huh.
and asking her to leave my house. She said she didn't know love could be like that and didn't want to ever feel rejected ever again. She asked multiple times if I had someone new. She asked if I burned all of our things, and she went on to act arrogant. She told me we had no future plans, even though we did. And in the end, she started getting emotional, cried, and said she missed me so, so much. She has been waiting for me to come to her house like in the movies, that she
Yeah.
has tried so much to let me go, but she can't. She can't stop thinking about me. She then asked if she could call me later that night. I said sure, and she said, okay, I'll call you in 2 hours. She never did call. So I looked at her social media and saw that she was out with some friends and new guy who she followed, and he followed her that night. Ooh.
Yeah, so
So the whole point of, I guess, this whole thread
mhm.
is to see if like is OP being manipulated or not.
So I don't know if it's like purpose manipulation, obviously, but it's clear that there's a lot of back and forth, and the girl wants a lot of different things. She basically just wants her cake and wants to eat it too.
Yeah, I think she like wants a lot of validation from OP.
Yeah. I think it's a situation where she is definitely 100% in a man-eater phase,
Yeah, I can see that.
but it may not even be a phase for her, honestly. It's probably
Well,
just a permanent thing for
I
her.
think like it also depends on how old they are.
Yeah, that's very true.
I feel like that's some info. Scroll down and see if OP clarifies.
Oh my God, is this Dustin?
Huh. That was stupid.
Yeah, I don't think you understood what no contact means. It means to block her for everything and consider her dead. You don't do no contact hoping she'll come back. When you take the trash out, you don't go looking for it to for bring
I
back at
quit,
home.
but I'll just have this one taste.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, so the thing is like he opened the floodgates for this.
I mean, he admitted that he did.
Yeah, and also another thing, her texting out of nowhere saying that one of her relatives has passed is
I feel like that's manipulation
that's definitely manipulation because she's doing it
to gain sympathy.
to, well, I wouldn't really say to gain sympathy, but to gain a response because you didn't text them for like 3 weeks. What are you supposed to come back with, right? Of like pure no contact,
Yeah.
right? So she was like, "Oh well, hasn't been texting me for 3 weeks. Oh wow, what's he up to?"
That's what I was saying is like she was looking for like a sympathy response.
Yeah,
You know?
I think she was just trying to keep him on the hook. Honestly, maybe not even for a sympathy response, just for a response in general, just so because I'm sure he probably gave her attention. Because if he's at a 3 week no contact now, how long did he go after they broke up with
That
constant contact?
that was after their breakup. So there was 3 weeks no contact after the breakup.
After the breakup. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because for 3.5 years, yeah, I'm sure that's something that she's like, oh, well, maybe I made a mistake, right?
Yeah. And like
Should have just left her alone.
she wants like this new guy that she's messing around with, or like new guys, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not clear if it's like one or more guys that she's like flirting with.
She sounds like a jerk, and you are lucky to get rid of her. Yes.
I feel that.
Get back to no contact and block her. It's just a mind fuck you don't need. I also agree with this. A lot of times, like, this doesn't sound peaceful to me. Like, if this was happening, I would just block this out completely.
That's why I'm like wondering how old they are, because this is definitely some shit that I would have let slide in like younger years.
So you think they're under 20?
I wouldn't say like well, maybe
Under
under
22.
25, because I feel like once you hit 25, it starts kind of mellowing out. Like people start rounding out a little bit more
Yeah.
because they have their frontal cortex lobe developed fully.
Yeah.
Well, like for the most part, and that's kind of when you go through all of the bad relationships and you figure out a little bit more about what you want and don't want out of a relationship, or even if you want
Mm-hmm.
a relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like 25 is like a good point, like a turning point for most people. I know it was for me because we didn't meet till 26.
Yeah.
Like I had just turned 26.
Yeah.
Um, but that was around the time where I was like, okay, I want to slow down. I'm ready to get back into the game. I'm ready to, you know, commit and have somebody commit to me. But before that, I was in the streets. I was for the streets. I was in the streets.
I think that goes for both of us, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's part of kind of growing up and maturing in a way.
Yeah.
You don't have to have like a hoe phase or a man-eater phase or whatever you want to call it
Mm-hmm.
to mature. I don't believe that, but I think like you get your heart broken enough, or you go through situations like this enough, and you're just like, fuck it.
Well, it's also a thing. There's always someone out there for everyone, for someone. And I know that's like a really cliche thing to say.
Super cliche.
Yeah, it's super cliche, but at the same time, it's true.
Yeah.
It is true. It's
Yeah.
just most people don't want to believe it because it's one in like a what, 7 billion chance. And if you really cut out age groups and do the math on it statistically, it's lower than that.
And it's crazy that like you and I were able to find each other
Yeah.
because you were like on the other side of the country.
Yeah. And I mean, you have to think like we're pretty much the same age and everything else between us.
Same values,
Yeah.
same morals,
Mm-hmm.
same goals in life.
I mean, we're still a different person. And
Obviously.
that's okay. But
But we're good counterparts.
yeah, we are good counterparts and we mix really well. And then on top of that, the main core values is what's important to have in common, which is respect and loyalty.
Yeah.
But that's just within a relationship. But us ourselves are worked really well.
I think that goes with like I think for us specifically, like respect and loyalty are big in every relationship that we have.
Yeah.
Like not just between us, but between all of our friendships.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I respect every single one of my friends that, I call friends.
Oh yeah, me too. Okay.
It doesn't mean I'm gonna let them slide with some shit that they do though, because some of them be doing some shit. Um,
Uh,
which one do you want to do now?
let's do how do I leave?
This one?
Yeah, because
Okay.
that seems like I mean it's short and sweet, but it gives a little bit more detail.
All right. Go ahead. This one's all you tonight. We gotta hear your voice. Okay.
Okay. How do I leave? This post is by OK Rip 9600. He, a 22 male, is the love of my life. I know I, a 20-year-old female, think that right now because he is the man that's been there. Ooh, baby girl. I don't know how to break up with him. He's lied to me way too many times, crossed my boundaries, and has cheated on me. Girl. I think he's manipulating me, but I also think he's being genuine. I'm not sure. How do I get the courage to leave? I don't know if my heart can handle it. I know for sure that this is just a phase and life will be better. I just need some encouraging words, please. I thought this man would be my husband, my everything. I don't know anymore. I keep delaying breaking up because I keep giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm relying on his words that I know are not true. I know I have to leave, but I'm just so scared of the grieving process. I'm scared that I'm doing the wrong thing and that I'll regret it later. Okay,
Go ahead.
baby girl. First of all, you will never regret doing right by you.
Yeah.
You will never regret finding your peace, and this man is not your peace. Maybe at one point in life, yeah, he was because he was there in a moment when you didn't have anybody there.
Yep.
But he obviously doesn't respect you. He's not loyal. And like we just were talking about literally 2 minutes ago, you really can't have a good foundation for a relationship without respect and loyalty. They go hand in hand.
Yeah. So I'm also going to take a different approach for it, but yeah, this is why we mix kind of well because I look at things like
We
very
have different
neutral.
perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so the thing is like you're saying like he's doing all these bad things and he's cheating on you. Now we're just going off of what you're saying because obviously we don't really have more details, and in my opinion, and it's probably on both sides at this point because it doesn't seem like she's had this conversation with him. And if she has, my question is like, and this is why I always ask people when people say someone's cheated on them because people have different meaning of
Cheating.
cheating,
What? Yeah, that's true.
especially in their own relationship, right? In my mind, cheating is like, okay, if you're mentally or emotionally already disconnected from your partner, you're pretty much cheating,
Yeah.
right? Because the emotional value is what you all share the most. And when you're taking your time out of your day to create that emotional bond with
Mm-hmm.
another person
Mm-hmm.
over your own partner. Like if
Hmm.
you're ignoring your own partner and rolling to the side of the bed and texting someone from work,
I'm triggered. I'm triggered.
she's triggered because her ex did that. But um, then yeah, you're pretty much you're disconnecting and you're cheating, right? You're creating that emotional bond,
Hmm.
and we all know it, you know?
Also, I feel like being loyal and having respect for your partner doesn't end just there. It
Yeah.
also means not putting yourself in a position to be disloyal or disrespectful.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was getting at is like if you're in your mind, if he's already cheated once, why did you forgive it? You know? And if he's cheated once, like how long have y'all been together? Did y'all actually get past this? You know what I mean? Like there's so many unleft
There's not enough
answers.
information,
There's
yeah.
really not.
There's not enough context for this. But my thing is, going off of like what you just said, hold on, let me gather my thoughts really quick.
Okay.
Um, People are willing to make excuses for people that they love.
Yeah, of course. I mean, many people do it, and we know some that do it right now.
Yeah,
So, and it's okay to make those excuses, but you have to draw a line at the same time, right?
yeah.
Because if you're making an excuse for them cheating on you, I don't think that's a line that should be excused at all. You know, as soon as that happens, I think that it's something that just needs to be over at that point because obviously they didn't respect you enough and they didn't have
Hmm.
loyalty enough in the relationship
It
to do it.
goes it goes back to, I'm sorry to cut you off. Were you finished with your thought?
Pretty much.
Okay,
I mean, there was a little bit more, but yeah.
go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I was just gonna mention, like, it goes back to boundaries. You can't expect somebody to respect your boundaries if you don't respect your own boundaries.
Yeah.
You can't expect someone to respect you if
She's eating the
you.
tuna, by the way, finally.
I know, I smell it. You can't expect someone to respect you if you don't respect yourself at the end of the day,
Yeah.
period. Like, in any way, if you don't respect yourself, how can you expect someone else to respect you?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it was something like, okay, well, he was texting somebody, you know, once or twice, or he was doing some other stuff, maybe even looking at, corn,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not so sure I can say that on stream, to be honest.
Yep.
Um, things like that. And it's something that, yeah, is it disrespectful? I believe it to actually be disrespectful in a way, but it also depends on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if that's something you consider cheating, that's something that y'all should still work through.
Yeah. It should definitely be up for discussion and see
Yeah.
if, like,
Now, if he's over here
compromise.
putting his hot dog
And
into
someone else's buns.
other buns, shout out the sausage party. Then that's a different story. That's where you should already drew the line and have like been left.
I do agree with this first comment, and I do want to give OP like their
This
kudos.
first comment.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do want to give OP their kudos for, I mean, not just being, I say young, because I feel like in hindsight, 20 is super young, even though like when I was 20, I was like, I'm grown, right? But for OP to be this young and to be able to recognize that, this isn't good. I know that she recognizes that she has to leave. She just doesn't know how. So I'm not bagging on OP for like, yeah, she allowed it to happen once in the beginning and like forgave him, gave him the benefit of the doubt, whatever. But she does recognize that this is a behavior and a pattern that isn't going to stop, but she needs to break the cycle somehow.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that. She does need her kudos for that.
Yeah.
It is difficult when you feel like you're bonded with someone to break that bond, especially when you're that young and you haven't had the experience of having that bond with somebody before, and this is your first experience with it, and now they're kind of recreating a pattern that you were used to. It's hard. That's super difficult. Um, Now I'm not making like excuses for OP or anything, or like saying that what she's allowing is okay.
Yeah.
Um, but I do understand that it is difficult from like personal experience. It may not have to do with like respecting herself. It may just be it is scary. It is scary to be
This is the other
alone.
thing is like, this is how, and I know this is, okay, so the definition of love to you will change over the course of your life.
Correct.
So in the beginning, when you're younger, love will mean something separate from when you're, 25 to 30 years old. And you'll actually fully understand the concept of what the love of your life really means. Then this doesn't go for like everybody, because there's some special circumstances where those people really do find the love of their life early on, but those are very rare.
More rare now than before.
More rare now than before, absolutely. Like, for example, Chandler and Erica, they've been dating since middle school.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
OTP. Do you know what OTP means?
one,
One true pair.
one true pair, yeah.
Hmm.
So, the thing that I was going to say is that you say this guy is apparently love of your life, but I'll be honest, if you're already feeling this way, you know in your heart and deep down that it's not. If you're really in the situation where you feel that this manipulation is manipulation, it's not something that's, being genuine,
Hmm.
then yeah, it's already not the love of your life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't mean in my opinion, it doesn't mean you should necessarily leave it immediately, because I think that you should try to make sure that, there's probably issues on both sides, but you should take what you can to make sure that you're also improving from the relationship. Because if there's something that's causing some of it, I really think that you should move on from the relationship with at least something.
Yeah.
And that would be the something,
Yeah, the experience of it.
knowing what you did wrong. And if they say something crazy, like some off the wall shit, and you feel that that's not right, you can discuss it with your friends.
Yeah.
As long as your friends are down to earth and actually tell you like it is, and not, or like, they're actual real friends and
Yeah,
don't
they're not
just,
just like kissing your ass and
they're not just
sugarcoating.
kissing your ass and sugarcoating everything, then, they're going to tell you straight up if it's good or not. If you still don't feel like it is, or it isn't. But same time, if you ask them, what's the issue?
Hmm.
Like, why are you doing this to me? Blah, blah, blah. You know, because it's, in my opinion, it's never one-sided.
Yeah, there's always
It's
multiple
always,
sides
yeah,
to a singular story. I'm gonna give OP the same advice that I would give like a close friend,
yeah,
and I've had multiple close friends in this situation. Um, because she said, I know I have to leave, but I'm so scared of the grieving process. I'm scared doing the wrong thing and regretting it later.
yeah.
Don't stay with someone just because you're afraid of being alone.
Yeah, I fully agree. You should never, ever stay with someone because you're afraid of being alone. You should never get with someone because you don't want to be alone. That's also probably the worst thing you could do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's better to be alone and find fun in your own life, whether it's friends, by yourself, at home, family, whatever it may be. It's going to be, at least coming from a guy's perspective, in my opinion, it's a lot more peaceful. It's a lot more peaceful. Like, compared to if you were to be with someone that you didn't want to be with, or if you were just with because you were lonely at first or something, whatever it may be. It's more peaceful, less of a headache. And some guys might say that's just having a girlfriend, and that's not necessarily true. Like, everyone's got someone for everyone, and when you find the right one, it's not going to be such, such a headache. It's going to be still very peaceful. You'll have the same amount of peace even in the relationship.
Yeah. Like don't just have a warm body in your bed because you're afraid of being cold. Don't drink from any cup just because you're thirsty. Find what you really need, find what you really want, and go for that. Like
All right,
don't.
Mr. Miyagi. You just
Is it because I'm Asian?
I got smaller eyes than you do. What do you mean?
But that's generally what I tell my friends,
Yeah.
like don't 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 drink from a cup just because you're thirsty. Don't drink poison just because you're thirsty. Find whatever you're really wanting, whatever is really for you. Drink from that.
Which one do you want to do now?
Um, scroll.
Okay, I'm here. Sorry. What's up, Finn?
Hi, Finn.
Thank you for joining. A few. You're not too late. We just did two of them so far.
We have pretty good discussions on them.
Yeah, we're doing good, man.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to see the beginning again, I'm gonna have these uploaded on YouTube as well. I'm a little late, just a little bit.
That's okay though.
Yeah.
All right. Scroll.
Okay.
Uh, mm, unsure of what to do.
You want to do this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and read it.
This is a post by Afraid Class 3201.
Mm-hmm.
Unsure of what to do. Hey, so this is a throwaway account, as I think my ex has access to my account, and I don't want to stir the pot, but I need immediate help, as I've never been in a relationship like this or dealt with anything like it. Oh. About a month ago, I walked away from my ex. He slapped me, banged my head into the door when I tried to leave, and then put his cigarette out on my arm. I haven't said a peep to him, despite him sending thousands of messages, contacting my mom, etc. I'm done. I want to put it all behind me. This week, he sends me flowers. I accepted them because I didn't want the guy to go back and tell him I didn't accept them and then get mad he spent the money.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't give him a response again, and now someone sent me a screenshot of my Facebook account where he is posting embarrassing pictures, posting made up things about my sex life, my health. It's just so embarrassing and not true, but he's torturing me.
Wow.
I don't have access to that account anymore because he had me shut down all my social media because he was controlling and insecure. You can say that again.
That's kind of crazy.
I have no idea what email or phone number it's under, and it's not under my real name. I asked the person to report the post, and now my page is down, but I have no idea for how long and if he can get back into it. I can't prove it's my account, and this is causing me the most anxiety. If it was someone else, I feel like I just tell them to let it blow over, but this is insane to me, and it's too late. This information, the pictures are out there, and you know how it is on the internet. Once it's on the internet, it's never leaving.
Depends.
What do I do, guys? I mean, I have little kids. I'm a professional, and this is embarrassing, mortifying, actually. I was never bad to him in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand why he feels the need to do this. Everything I read says to gray rock this type of person, but it's getting very hard to stay silent. I'm praying every day that he just goes away. How do I make him stop? Okay.
Well, Finn, you got anything to comment on that one?
That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean,
That's a lot.
Shoot
Shoot
him.
Well, I think she's not trying to go to prison, so
Probably. She has little kids.
yeah. And a professional.
And she's a professional. Professional what, OP? That's not relevant. I'm sorry.
Quotations.
Do
Professional.
do you know what gray rocking is?
No.
So gray walking or like stonewalling someone is basically just like not paying them any mind.
Okay.
Like just not fueling the fire with anything, not
Yeah,
giving them any
I kind of
attention.
got that from the context clues. And that's
Okay.
what I was going to guess.
Okay.
Claim self-defense. Okay, so we're not here to help her, commit murder, bro.
Right. And OP's not saying that he's physically
Yeah.
getting involved with her.
This guy is definitely mentally,
Not well.
he's mentally not well, but he's not physically doing anything to her, but he knows what he's doing, and it is to a point to where it could potentially ruin her life because of her job finding out, her
Yeah.
kids finding it, or her friends' kids finding it.
Yeah.
You know, there's endless possibilities, but the guy the guy knows what he's doing because he realizes he's definitely 100% manipulating like every bit of that situation.
I would advise OP to go to like r/legal advice at this point. Just gather like all of the evidence that she has about any of this and see what she can do.
So she could do something.
That's not shooting him.
Yeah. Um, depending on what he's saying along with the pictures,
Right.
um, could get him for slander,
Defamation.
defamation for
Yeah.
sure.
Defamation of character.
Yeah. Well, she would be able to get him on defamation if the job finds out and fires her.
True.
And then she could also sue the company.
True.
Yeah.
I feel like if it has um really any effect in her personal life, she could sue for
Yeah.
defamation.
I'm pretty sure she could sue for
At the
defamation
very
as well.
least, she could do like a restraining order or
Well,
like a no contact.
the restraining order and the code of content, I'm gonna tell you right now, won't make any anything. It won't make anything for this guy. What am I saying?
Take your time.
Sorry. So the guy will do it whether there's a restraining order or not. No contact, it won't matter.
What about a cease and desist?
No, because what this guy's doing, he's not even near her, and he's torturing her.
But a cease and desist, like he could take those posts down. And
Yeah. And then what?
it could
Use a different account and put him back up?
well, it could stop him from posting stuff about her.
Okay, he makes a new account.
He can't.
He can. You can make new accounts anywhere.
That's true. And then he could just do the same thing, but
Yeah, you just do the same thing.
because it only counts for like that one.
He's using her account. Yeah, he's using her account.
Her like Facebook account that she doesn't have access to.
Yep.
And she doesn't have access to it because he made her delete all social media and
Yep.
she doesn't have she doesn't know the phone number or the email that he uses to get into it. So
the other thing is like she says that she can't provide proof that he did it, which is actually not true. Did you know? Whenever you log into a Facebook or a social media account nowadays, it actually tracks where you logged in from and what IP address you logged in from.
Yeah.
So in reality, if he logged in from a phone or a computer, something either connected to his own Wi-Fi or, you know, his own, easily, I mean, you could say that's not his account and he did it.
However, in order for them to find that information,
Yeah, I know, they need a warrant.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like she has enough proof to warrant a warrant.
Yeah. I agree with that. So this is just one of those things that this sucks. This does suck.
Not everyone's like, he sucks. He sucks.
Yeah.
The whole situation sucks. Again, like I would go to r/legal advice. I do agree with this first comment. Do your research. Research your local and state ordinances on cyberbullying and the evidence requirements. Their state has a victims law center that does all its work pro bono. I was unable to prove what my stalker was doing, but when and where people have been able to prove their case.
Oh, this is the same one.
Yeah, this is OP.
Yeah.
This is the comment.
Yeah.
When and where people have been able to prove their case, the law is becoming quite harsh with these offenders. The law in my state was named for a kid driven to suicide. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I would just advise OP to get some legal advice and see what she can do.
You want to read what they said?
Oh, OP replied to that comment. Ow.
My bad, baby.
OP replied to that comment and said, "Thank you so much. This was just so jarring because when I left and I was on the subway home, he was screaming that he was going to make my life miserable, as if I scorned him in some way. So I expected something like this around when I first left, but now a month later, I'm just beside myself. I don't know what to do with myself, honestly."
I didn't mean to like kind of chuckle, but in my mind, you just like you definitely got with the wrong guy,
Yeah,
and I hope that that's not a consistent pattern because I promise you that that guy is extremely mad because you know y'all aren't together,
yeah,
and he's mal- he's malicious.
he is.
He's doing that shit on purpose because you're not with him, and don't ever get with him.
Yeah, hold steady, OP.
Even if it was even if the roles were reversed, it'd still be the same thing. To be honest, maybe he was different before she ultimately rejected him. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, Fen. Anyone that is quote unquote different before they get rejected are fakes.
Yes.
They're 100% fakes. And I notice stuff like that super easily.
Hmm.
I know when people are being extremely fake. Yeah, well, obviously he's fake. Exactly. But the truth is maybe he didn't exhibit any of this
When they first got together.
when they first got together, but it never lasts too long before it starts.
I usually give people about 3 to 6 months before the mask falls.
Yeah.
Generally, when you first get with someone new, between the first 3 to 6 months of you guys being together,
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, the reason why the whole, and this is why people call it the honeymoon phase as well, is because you have people trying to impress the other person. Why don't you just be yourself? Stop trying to impress them by doing things that you don't normally do.
or just be like, if you want to seem like you're that good of a person, why don't you make steps to be that good of a person in the first place?
Yeah, or
Like,
that.
why do you have to fake who you are in order to get
That's been my
love?
experience. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to hear that, bro.
yeah, I'm sorry, Finn. But I mean, that's generally how everyone is when,
Unfortunately, yeah. I even dated someone, I'm obviously not going to say names, but
as you shouldn't.
um, she was like that. Like, and we were together for a year, and I made excuses for a lot of it, right? But it was after like around the 5th or 6th month mark when a lot of things started showing. And let's just say that it was really bad to the point to where like, you know, constant yelling and abuse of alcohol and other things. Um,
Is this who I think it is?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, there's probably some others, but this is probably the worst one because she had kids.
They do pile up.
And then the excuses pile up, it's and I make excuses for it being like, oh well, it's because they went through this situation as a kid, it's because their family went through this situation, it's because their kids went through this, blah blah blah. And however that does make sense, it doesn't give them the right to do it. Do you think there's scenarios where people are real from the beginning? Yeah. Me and Jasmine were real from the beginning.
Yeah, like when we first started talking, like we weren't even dating at this point. Um, I was straight up like, "Hey, these are my red flags. Like
Yeah.
this is the stuff that I've been through. These are like my traumas and my experiences and
Uh-huh.
like this is me, you can take it or leave it.
Yep.
And if you like it, then cool, we can see where this goes. And if not, then I don't want my time wasted and I don't want to waste your time."
Yeah, we're both like that from the beginning, and honestly, our relationship has not changed since the beginning because we weren't different people.
Yeah.
We've been the same people since the beginning, since day one.
Scenarios have changed, like our
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 situations have
situations
changed.
definitely have changed, but at our
And we've
core.
grown from like separately necessarily, not grown apart, but grown as people
Yeah, as
just because of our
individuals.
situations.
Yeah, we've definitely grown as individuals, but we've also grown together. I think that's like the big difference
I agree.
in us and any relationship we've been in before. Um, but yeah, like the excuses definitely pile up in previous
They
relationships.
they do. It they make excuses or they say that it's all your fault. But you know, when you want to talk to them to have a conversation of like, okay, why do you feel this way? You know, why do you say that it's my fault? And they just continuously say it without giving you any reason for it. And
Yeah.
then, especially, this is how you really know it's bad when they start accusing you of like cheating or something out of nowhere after like a month or so of them acting this way. You know something's up
Mm-hmm.
because they always like to reflect, right? They always like to reflect on what they're doing. So if they're accusing you of cheating,
Then they're projecting.
they're definitely projecting. They're most likely the ones cheating.
I think that's important because you can't settle in the person you are. You should always
We
be
trying to
trying to
grow
grow
for your
for
partner,
yourself,
bro. But
but most
most
of
of
all
all,
for
you're for
yourself.
yourself.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So at your core, your fundamentals might stay the same, and like your hobbies and everything might stay the same, but you'll start to gain new skills, especially when we're talking about um things that you don't have much interaction with,
New
right?
perspective.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say new perspective. I actually do mean skills because like you have, say for someone that has lived pretty much on their own or with maybe a roommate here and there since they were 18, they're not going to be very social when it comes to like family,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's their own family. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying because she knows that I'm using myself as the example right now. But let's take that for a situation, right?
Right.
That's something that laughing my ass off. Yeah. So that's okay to a point, right? You still want to make conversation with them, right? But it doesn't like, for example, nothing's really uncomfortable for me. I just it's something that's not like super important to me, but because it's super important to her, I do it. Even though I like conversations with them, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm too
Overstimulated.
no, I'm not too overstimulated. I'm too like, oh well, if this conversation isn't like important, like what's the point of like having this conversation with someone that's not my partner type of thing, or like one of my close friends.
Getting to know them.
Yeah, true, but that's what I'm saying is like you get to know them some, but there's no point in having like, you know, you have that like face conversation, that face value one where you're just like, oh, the weather is beautiful outside. You know, it's like there's no purpose into that conversation, right? There's nothing else behind it, so it almost seems meaningless to me. But because it's important to everyone else, I still do it.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's like that because before I definitely wouldn't have done that. You know, that's not something that I would have necessarily did. It doesn't have to be important to me. It can still be unimportant to me and still be meaningful. So I have to add that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some things that, you know, I obviously I don't have as a hobby, but you know, when someone that I truly care about is talking about them, yeah, it's meaningful to me because it's what they enjoy, it's what they like.
Yeah, like when I talk about Hello Kitty Island Adventures.
Yeah, I love it. I don't play it, but I love hearing you talk about it.
Yeah, it's like me listening to talk about leaves
Yeah, but I know you want to just throw me out the window when I talk about it.
99% of the time.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay though. If it makes you happy, it still makes me happy.
Yeah.
My eyes will glaze over, but I'm still listening, I promise.
It's gonna be more than your eyes getting glazed over.
Sir,
What?
why did you knock that down, man?
Bro, she's so. I don't know.
Why did it land face up though?
My God, it's the cat too.
um,
Okay, what's next?
I kind of want to go into am I the asshole?
Well, I think we're what's the time limit right now?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, you were talking about projection, but there's also that manipulative side when they do something wrong and you call it out, they flip it and make you seem like you're the problem and delusional.
That's deflection.
That's called a
It's
deflection,
deflection.
not reflection.
Yeah, but that does happen.
It does
It's
happen.
very, very common.
Yeah, but you know what should happen is people having the conversation being like, okay, this is what I want, and the other person going, okay, this is what I want, and then going, okay, this doesn't match, so there's nothing left for us to do. We just part ways.
Either that, or if it's really your person and you really want to make it work, you find a compromise.
Yeah, but it depends on, what it is and how far apart it is. Like five 5 years, buddy.
Oh, well,
5 years what? Huh? Oh, 5 years, buddy, of deflection.
yeah,
She just whispered to me. Hopefully you didn't hear that on the mic. Um,
I get you, Finn.
yeah. So I don't know. It. I didn't. Okay, cool. Yeah. There is deflection, but like I said, if they want something and it's so far apart, just part ways. Like, there's no point in keep trying.
Yeah.
I didn't. You didn't part ways. It's pretty fucked up. Should have just been like, oh, well, this is what I want. If you don't want it, I'm gonna dip. Don't try to like change your values. Amen, brother and sister.
Yeah, don't try to keep drinking the poison just because you're still thirsty.
Yeah, don't change your values for and it's okay for someone to want something different. I want to make that very clear. Like, doesn't mean be like, oh well, they're a bad person for wanting to do something completely different than what I want. No. Like, if that's what they want, then just leave them be. They're a bad person if they don't tell you, in my opinion. Like, if they go on and they do exactly what you want and don't tell you, like, that's not at all what they want. And because eventually it's just going to fall apart because it's built on fakeness. It is built it's built on false hope. That's what it's built on.
Mm-hmm. It's built on the idea of
That's what I mean.
somebody, of
False hope.
something,
It's built on ideas.
yeah,
And
versus like the actuality of the situation.
yeah, and anything built on that is doomed to fall apart. And honestly, it'll probably fall apart in under a year because there's no way it's making it past a year.
Yeah, you can't fake who you are for longer than that.
Well, I wouldn't know. I never have, and that's probably what's most annoying about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I love the most about you.
Well, thank you. I love you too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I've ever faked who I was, and I think that's
I've seen people do it. See, you say you've seen people do it, but I guarantee you they've showed something somewhere that was a little bit out of character that probably made you like question it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever faked who I was in any relationship.
Hmm.
I think that's super fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm. He said that's fair, but it's brief. Brief or not, it's same concept still applies. I mean, they still technically did show who they are.
Mm-hmm. You're getting glimpses of who they truly are, and then once the switch flips,
It was always with my sister's boyfriends. Mm. That's definitely when you should have hanged that shit up. You should have been like, nope.
you know you can't tell somebody to do something that they don't want to do though.
No, of course not. Of course not.
If they,
They're gonna do what they
they
want to do, and that's
yeah,
fine.
they have to want out of the situation.
That's
Um,
why I'm like, if you don't want to listen to me, that's okay. I just won't talk to you no more about that situation.
yeah, like don't be asking me over and over about the same thing, and I'm gonna tell you the same thing. Like I'm not.
But I was, I've seen it with my exes, but I was blinded. Everyone's blinded. You just need to come at it like you, you, everyone's blinded. So honestly, at younger ages, in my opinion, I think we were all blinded at some points. But once you get tired of it, you just see through bullshit 100% off the
Yeah,
bat.
right away.
You know, you live and you learn. Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, but like I was saying, you see glimpses of the bad of like their true selves later on in the relationship. And what makes you stay is you start seeing glimpses of who they were when you first met. You see glimpses of their mask. And that's what makes people stay most of the time.
Yeah,
Is like
it
they
is.
see, okay, this person that I fell in love with,
Them youngins don't understand.
like you see the person that you fell in love with little by little,
Yeah.
like they plant little seeds of the mask and you're like, okay, they're still in there. Like I can change them again. I can change them
But at
back.
the same time, I feel like not everyone like has to deal with this stuff, but I don't think it's like a rare thing either, you know?
It's pretty common.
Yeah. But I think it's also pretty common because like one of the comments said earlier from one of these guys or girls or whatever, they they were right about most of these people that do this don't actually know what they're doing, but they just refuse to see that they might be the issue. You know, so many people have such a huge ego that they just want to be right. It's one thing, and I always said this, it's one thing to want to debate something and you bring facts and you come at it from a logical standpoint, maybe even an emotional one that still brings facts. But to come at that same way but refuse to be wrong is very immature
Yes.
because there's always a chance, unless you're talking about science, and even then, there has been some science books that have been rewritten because there's been new theories that have came out and proven to be factual. Did you know that, actually?
Hmm. You're straying from your point though.
Yeah, I'm sharing from the point, but the point is like if you're going to argue in a relationship, then there's no like you're not necessarily you should come at it from a debate standpoint rather than and be willing to hear the truth. You know,
Or
don't try, yeah, or a truth. Don't try to hurt the other person. Don't sit there and actually just argue with pointless stuff that happened before you even got together. Like things that actually matter.
just be open-minded, but keep the facts in line.
A lot of people don't do it. Oh, there's a lot of people that don't do it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I definitely know that. Remember Mafia Man?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mafia man.
Facts, no printer.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took him to find those emojis.
I think they're in my recents, so.
Facts, no printer. Alright, which one do you want to do? Gaslight is buggy, so help me. Am I being gaslit or am I crazy?
Oh, baby girl.
Okay. Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
oh Lord.
Oh. Have fun, baby.
Oh Lord, is this the one that you're choosing?
I got his copy and pasted from Jasmine.
I
Oh,
told you.
I knew it. What's next? He said, "Whoa." Okay, baby, go ahead, go for it.
Good Lord.
This
This
is a
is
lot.
from Sherporka.
At least it's portioned, all right. You know, they got paragraphs, you know,
Yeah, at
little
least
bullets.
the punctuation's on point.
Yeah, it's not like all grouped together. If I would have saw it grouped together, it would have been like, I'm so
Nope.
ridiculous.
Yeah, if it was just like one block. Okay. Gaslight is bug r slash gaslight is buggy. So I'm guessing this was originally posted in another thread,
Mm-hmm.
and was reposted in r slash manipulation. Gaslight is buggy. So help me. Am I being gaslit or am I crazy? I'm gonna stop right there really quick. If you have to question it, you're probably being gaslit. You're probably being gaslit.
You know what's crazy is that, um, gaslighting. I honestly haven't experienced too much of it.
That's because you don't really deal with bullshit like that, though.
Oh yeah, I mean I recognize it, but as soon as it starts, you out my life. I don't even care.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
We ain't doing it.
All right, let's get into this because we got a deep dive.
My
Hey,
grandmother did it at one point though. She was really bad at gaslighting.
she was really bad at it, or she did it a lot.
She did it a lot, is what I
Okay.
meant.
Yeah. Like it was a bad habit.
Oh well.
Okay. Hey all, just looking for additional input because I'm going nuts. Sorry this post is long. Yes, it is. For context,
I've been
what?
gaslit. I'm too forgiving.
Yeah, I mean, if you recognize that you're being gaslit and you still put up with it, that's on you.
Yeah, bro. Like imagine someone going to you and being like, she's gonna break up with you because she's joining the mafia.
Okay.
And you go, no, it's okay. You can be in the mafia and I'll be with you still. Fast, don't worry.
Anyways, let's get into it. For context, I am a 45-year-old male, successful medical provider and business owner. Just had my 20-year anniversary and I'm having a divorce consultation tomorrow
Okay,
morning.
real quick. This also makes sense that this is a guy, because I'll be honest with you, girls gaslight more than guys do, in my opinion. And from my
That's
experience,
your experience, and that's
okay, fair,
fair. That's
fair point.
that's your experience. I wouldn't say that that's a general overall statement that should be made.
That's
I
true.
feel like it's a fair amount. It's like saying only guys cheat.
Well, that's not true at all. It's
Okay.
just only guys get caught. Most of the girls don't.
See? But women still do it.
Women definitely still do it.
So it goes both ways. And I don't think it depends on gender or anything. I
Yeah.
think that people just gaslight and more people
Also, I know this is
get
out of
caught.
whack, but I just had a. What
Why did you push me like that?
is the divorce rate for
Doctors?
women
Oh.
in the U.S.? 14 divorces per 1,000 married
Do
women.
men. Do men. Do men. Why did you...
So, men
Interesting.
is a lower divorce rate, which this is okay. This is getting into a whole nother thing, another debate. But this is why I brought this up is because there's so many reasons why this is higher for the women than it is for the men.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm gonna be open-minded about this.
Okay, yeah, be open-minded.
I'm here.
Okay. I'm not saying this is everybody. I'm not
Okay.
saying like, oh my God, every marriage is like this, right? Because obviously ours won't be, and there's many others that won't be. I'm not saying either one is bad, but I'm saying in a lot of cases, especially, and I know Finn can actually even, um, I'm sure he's seen some videos about it. There's a lot of more modern women
Okay.
that purposely try to get married to people with a lot of money.
Okay.
So that way they can divorce them for alimony.
Okay.
So it's automatically a purpose thing. Now, the other thing is that and this actually has been, I mean, I could probably pull up the study, but there has been a study on most of these percentages. This was back in 2022 too, but so off the statistics anyway, the 13% of men that were divorced, like starting the divorce, they were doing it because of like many reasons of either like, believe it or not, domestic abuse,
Okay.
cheating,
Right.
or things like they feel like they're being leached off of.
Okay.
Okay. Now for the women, it was um reasons like unhappiness,
Right.
being unheard,
Yeah.
unseen,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And then it goes into also the cheating because it's not like one side cheats and the other doesn't. They both do.
Correct.
Right. And but here's what a small percentage of the women said versus the men. Men never said, "Oh, we're getting divorced because we want your money." There's actually a small percentage of the women that got divorced that said, "We're doing it because we want the money."
Okay.
Right. So that's why I think the divorce rate is higher on the women's side than it is on the men's because they're essentially the same thing, right? There's just like lack of communication for the most part, right? Being
Right.
unseen, being unheard, men feeling like they're being leached off of other things, right? So I think the divorce rate would be the same. It'd still be 13%, but on both sides. But the women's higher because you have that percentage of women that are sitting there going, well, we're doing it for the money.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can see that being like the reason for the discrepancy because it's if it was like an astronomical amount, like 20% versus 10%, I would be like cap, right? Because there can't be that many. Okay, so for 1920, why are you going back to 1920?
I was just curious on if it was like lower back then. It was in 1900.
Well, yeah, divorce is more common
Yeah.
in more modern days than
Now, I'm not saying the divorce rate like, and I also forgot the domestic abuse on, the women's side, right? Because it happens on both sides. And yes, women cause it too, just like, you hear men that do it. Problem is you don't really hear about it too much on the news, but they still do it.
Here's my 2 cents on like this
I'm gonna be real,
whole
I've met a bum dudes leeching off of women, but I do agree with the women number being higher because of money. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like there are dudes that do it. They are, and those are the ones that are mostly manipulating like their other person.
can I say my piece now?
Yeah,
Okay, I was going off of what Finn was saying. Um,
there are men who do.
yeah, that there are men that do that also. However, I feel like women are more likely to divorce men because of their money because men make more.
Statistically, yeah, I know.
Statistically, yes. And it's because a lot of the time men will do the jobs that women don't want to do.
Oh, now you're getting into a conversation that if we had other viewers, I'm sure they would disagree with you.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I actually agree with you because the truth is like if you look at certain fields that anyone can make a certain amount of money, but if we're talking equality, then and there's women's and there are women in these type of fields. Don't get me wrong, I've met some of them. I even dated one.
How did that go?
Alcohol abuse. Um, if we're looking into like the welding field and stuff like that, right? It's mostly dominated by men. You do have some women though. And it's obvious. I'm not saying women can't do the job because they can. I've seen it, and I worked with one and dated one. Right? It's more than possible. I don't say it's not, but truth is that it's still mostly dominated by men. And the reason why most of these guys still make more is because they're willing to do these nasty, dirty jobs that they need to do in order to make sure themselves and their family is well taken care of.
Okay, but like let's stray away from the nasty dirty jobs.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's make it a level playing field.
Okay, so we're talking office jobs.
Right, like let's make it a level playing
Okay.
field of office jobs, right?
Okay.
Man and a woman are hired for the same exact job.
Superfly, I agree that men do a lot of the jobs that women don't want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I fully agree, Superfly.
yeah,
Also, welcome to the stream, man.
yeah. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
However, if we level the playing field and we say that they have the same amount of power in the same company,
Yeah.
okay, um, they both get promotions at the same time and they're at a point where they're competing for the same high level job.
Okay.
More oftentimes than not, the man's gonna get it.
That's also very true.
It doesn't, I mean, it sucks to say because the woman may be
Qualified.
more qualified, yeah.
But yeah, I know why that is, and it is a bit sexist that that does happen. But at the same time, it honestly, no, it's just not right. But if the man is more qualified, I do think that it shouldn't be looked at as like, oh, this is a sexist thing, this is blah blah. It's just based on qualifications. But in reality, what it really is, if we're talking about a high like corporate job,
hmm
what it really comes down to isn't even man or woman. It comes down to them being friends with the people that are above them.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
really what it
and if
is.
a woman is more in power, then okay, say a woman gets it,
Yeah.
then she's accused of sleeping with their higher ups.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. It's just because people are jealous and want to be in the same position.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is like a power imbalance. It's power politics, whatever. But I do believe that that's why it's more common for women to get divorced because of the money for that.
Yeah, I do think that, because of the situations, like statistically, men do make more. Not every man either. And that's why, like that small percentage, that's why the divorce rate is higher, is because of that small percentage of the women that say, oh, I do it because I want the money. I want the house. I want all the stuff that, I didn't even have to work for it. And it really sucks. And I've seen several cases, like hundreds of cases. And this is the part that really sucks. It's when the wife is the one that's cheating, doesn't communicate to the husband, divorces them, and still takes like 75% of everything,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and still
That's
gets
super
alimony.
common. That's super
And
common.
that's super common and extremely fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine having your home, your kids,
Your whole
and
life.
your whole life ripped up from you and still have to pay this bitch 75% of your money after like she cheated on you and divorced you?
And like you know that she's spending that money on her new boo.
Yeah. And you have no family, like uprooted everything, right? Like I do feel that's too much of a focus because I feel like a majority of divorces don't come from gold diggers, though. No, they
No, no,
don't.
no, no. So the
If you,
discrepancy between men and women.
no offense, refusing to listen.
No, no, no.
No,
So
he
the
saw the percentages, though. We're talking about the percentage is why it's higher than the men's percentage,
and it's
right?
only by 2%. So it's not a majority of women getting divorced. That is because they're gold digger. It's literally like 2%.
Yeah, it was literally, well, that was back in 2022, but that's the only percentage that we have to go off of right now. But,
Yeah. So
um,
it's not a majority. It's a minority percentage of women that get divorced.
we're just talking about why that percentage is higher than the men's percentage. Because when you look at the men's, and if you do look them up, the reasons for their divorce percentage, right? It was at like what, 12% versus the women's, which was 14 and a half, almost 15%, right?
It was 15% versus 13%.
Okay, so there you go. So, um, some of the reasons for the guys were mainly just like, oh, feeling leached off of, or like, them cheating, or domestic abuse, or, common reasons that, you would really think of getting a divorce for. And believe it or not, on the women's side, most of it's the same way, except for a small percentage where they said they did it because they wanted the money and they were unhappy.
Yeah. So that's the 2% that we're kind of diving into.
Well, I wouldn't say we're diving into it. I was just explaining why. Because in reality, like, it should be the same percentage.
Yeah, but it's multifaceted.
It is.
And that's kind of what we were going into, like why that 2% is multifaceted.
Yeah, because they both should be at roughly 13%, but because you have that
Small percentage.
extra small percentage that get divorced because for the money.
Yeah.
That's why the divorce rate is actually higher for women than it is for men.
Yeah. So that was the tangent.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the things.
I'm gonna start it over.
Okay, started over.
Hey all, just looking for additional input because I'm going nuts. Sorry this post is long. For context, I'm a 45-year-old male, successful medical provider, and a business owner. Just had my 20-year anniversary and I'm having a divorce consultation tomorrow morning. So there's that.
Yeah.
No infidelity on either end, we're just not compatible, and the dysfunction has accelerated sharply in recent years. More on that in just a sec. I've known this for a while, that there was a lot of toxicity in my relationship with my spouse, but I suffer from attachment issues and subsequent nice guy syndrome. So I do everything I can to please everyone, including her, even at the cost of my own feelings and mental health.
Finn, is this you?
Are you 45?
You've been lying to us this whole time?
Knew it. Knew it.
Continue.
I don't think that this is like nice guy syndrome. I think this is people pleaser syndrome.
Yeah, he's trying to please out of and sacrificing his own mental health and his own feelings.
We should go into like r/nice guy and r/nice girl on one of these streams. I think that'd be super fun and interesting.
We'll do that.
Anyway, just over 2 years ago, I realized I had developed feelings for a coworker. Ooh, there it is.
Oh my god, actually this isn't Finn. I know who this is.
um where was I? We relied on each other a lot, and she was very attentive to me and made me feel needed and like I was valued. Oh god. And our conversations grew from work to personal issues over the first 2 years we worked together. Again, I've never cheated. I think that depends on definition of cheating.
Well, it always does.
And I still wouldn't have done anything about it had she made any open advances. I take my vows seriously even as I've grown emotionally distant. So when I became aware that I was having feelings for this woman, I immediately made efforts to distance myself. Okay. I stopped responding to texts that were personal in nature, left the office ASAP once my work was done, stopped attending extracurricular functions, even started talks to take over a
Oh, is this
busier...
a woman that he works with?
Yeah.
Oh, no. No. Leave that shit alone.
Even started talks to take over a busier, more lucrative office in another town. My strategy was so effective that my coworker reached out to me after work and asked why I was being distant. She was worried I might fire her. Oh, this was like your underling. Okay. I told her that her job was safe, but that I had gotten feelings for her, so it was best that we kept our interaction strictly business. Fair. It worked for a while. I was doing better, exited talks to move to the office in another town, didn't want to change things up on our kids, and was actually calming down. Then her behavior just subtly shifts back into...
That's crazy. I think he was just responding to me being like, is this now? Go ahead.
Then her behavior just subtly shifted back into very personal territory. Here are some examples. Offering me a back rub, sending me pictures of her drinks with captions like, "Take me back to Mexico." I had sponsored a mission trip for myself and those in the office who wanted to go. Talking about her own marital issues, asking me about my marital issues, asking about my sex life with my wife, wanted me to take her out with my new vehicle, during a work trip, invited me to her room to watch a movie.
Okay.
Okay.
So these they're a little questionable, right? I mean, you could be like, okay, maybe they're just a little overcaring, oversharing, or just want to get a little personal. But this one,
Nosy.
yeah, a little nosy, right? But this one,
I think the line started with the back rub.
yeah.
Why are you offering me a back rub?
Okay, yeah. So the back rub one and this one, I was gonna get to that one too. But these,
And the sex life, asking about the sex life. I think that's crossing the line.
well, I mean, it's like Okay, so I don't think about it like, oh, it's a woman asking me or a man asking me. So it's weird because, if you think about maybe another dude asking you, it's a different context, right? And that's what most people would think. But for me, it's like you're just being nosy. You just want to know.
I think if it's like cooler talk or like locker room talk with like your friends, that's different.
Yeah, most people.
Like,
And
cause I would talk to my friends about our sex life or
that's fair.
something,
This
right?
person's not actually a friend to him.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
that's a boundary that shouldn't be crossed.
Yeah.
And I think like the context of like the back rub, like if my coworker offered me a back rub, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm a massage therapist though,
Yeah.
and my coworker's my mom.
Yeah.
So that's different in context for me.
Yeah.
But if your coworker were like, "Hey, you want a back rub?" What you saying?
Stop this D.
Like that's like context is
Well, I
everything.
guess it depends, like, because, I did a bunch of welding before, but if we're talking, like, military now, like, I mean, it's still a grown-ass man most of the time.
Why are you letting a grown ass man rub your back and it's not his job?
Strong muscles. I don't know. It'd be feeling good sometimes, right?
Listen, the best strong massage therapist you can find is still gonna be the tiny Asian.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be the
It's
tiny.
still gonna
It's
be you,
gonna be the
baby.
least expecting one. I'll come in from the top ropes.
Yeah, you do. You
Anyways,
drive that elbow in. Okay, well, go ahead and continue.
um, once I realized that I was struggling again, I shut it down again and was doing all right until my wife brought up why I wanted to leave my office during lunch. I had a few reasons to go, but she wasn't satisfied with any of them and basically forced me to tell her that I had gotten these feelings for someone else. I had been counseled by a marriage counselor, my personal therapist, and multiple trusted friends and family not to disclose that yet, as neither of us were ready for each other's reactions and the wedge it would introduce into an already shaky marriage. They were right. I refused to tell her which of my coworkers it was, so my wife went to my office 2 days later while I was at my other office and asked questions that got everyone talking and basically let everyone know that something was going on between me and one of them. Oh, juicy. I had a bit of a mental breakdown and finally had a text conversation with the coworker and asked her what her intentions were, like if she was having feelings for me. Again, I never had intentions on acting on it, but I felt like I was going crazy with the mixed signals and incongruent behavior and just needed to know what was up. She said no, she was just being my buddy. I outlined some of the suspect things she had done, especially given that I had already told her the difficulties I was having with it. She said I was being ridiculous and that she was sending no mixed signals, and things went really cold again for months. Then things got personal again. Oh boy. She wanted to talk about her failing marriage, always seemed to mention starting birth control. Why the hell I need to know all that? Sent a photo of her and
She's
her
probably just
friend.
could be an over-targeted person. I'm just saying, there's people like this that
But there
exist.
are so many other topics that you could talk about, especially when someone has already made it very clear that, like, I'm having difficulties with this and these are my boundaries.
Baby,
Yes.
I didn't say these people were smart. I'm just saying that they're over-talkative and they enjoy just. She maybe she has no one to talk to and she's just talking.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is there are so many other topics that you could just talk about. If
Yeah.
like this is just your buddy, you don't go into stuff like that.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. I wouldn't go
Um,
into stuff with anyone really at all.
like I wouldn't talk to a male coworker about my birth control.
I wouldn't talk to any coworker about any of it.
Like, I mean, I know everyone's different,
No.
but I mean, I would only talk to like female coworkers about that if it came down to it. And even then, like I really wouldn't unless I was very close with them.
Yep.
Like these are very personal things.
Yeah, especially like so. My biggest thing is that one. I mean, I would consider myself a more private person when it comes to like.
You are.
Okay. When it comes to things like of importance or any issues in my life. So I wouldn't even be.
Finn said you are.
You are. So I wouldn't even talk to. especially anyone about this unless it was a close friend or a best friend for years or something like that, or my lifelong partner
Yeah.
over sitting right next to me.
Hi,
Yeah.
that's me.
So what I was about to say is that you you are obvious, like this guy is obviously in a high position in whatever company he's in,
Right.
right?
I mean, he owns a business.
Okay, so he's the CEO. He fully owns his business. So that's a big thing, right? My number one thing, if I was a CEO, hey man, I'm always open to listen.
That's true.
I don't have anything going on. I'm just like living life. Um, if if I had, especially in, I know this is, I don't mean it for like a sexist thing to say, but if I had a woman talking to me, like if I owned my own business and she was talking to me like this, I'm automatically think, okay, you're trying to get me on some shit and sue me.
Yeah.
It might be genuine, you might genuinely like me, but I'm going to make it very clear, I don't like you like that. I have a, future wife or blah blah, blah or wife and that, and I mean, if I own a business in the future,
Why are
blah
you
blah.
stumbling like that? Why are you nervous? Why are you sweating? And why are you sweating? You like
I give you a
suntan?
back rub that's suspicious. Yes, so I'm the CEO of a company. I'm not letting you touch me. Like, we're not getting personal. I just hired you as considered, a receptionist or whatever the fuck she does, right?
Based on your qualifications, you have the job that you have, and
You,
that's why
yeah,
I hired you.
based on the qualifications, you have the job that you have. You're not coming in here and doing this,
Yeah.
especially like you. No, like that's why more specifically because it's really also because it's a woman. Because that is a fine line where, okay, even if I was single, I still wouldn't let it happen because
You shouldn't.
that is someone that is working under you, and that is something that could definitely be bad.
It's muddying the waters that don't need to be muddied.
Exactly. Like now you're like, even if this guy was single and he was thinking about it, it would still be a horrible idea because that's a good way for your company to go down the drain.
This woman is like one of the girls that I was saying, like, oh, if you're in a higher position, you're going to be accused of like sleeping with the boss, but she's actually trying to sleep with the boss.
Yeah. She might be actually. So we don't really know yet, but
He
I
said
mean,
he didn't. He said he didn't do anything physically.
that's what I'm saying. She might be trying, but either way, is that like something like this is too friendly for me, especially if I was your boss or I owned especially if I owned the business. Like none of this is happening.
Yeah.
Period.
Anyways, more
You
of
should
the
never date someone under you or your employee.
you should never date
You
a
shouldn't. You should
coworker,
never date coworker in general. It don't
period.
matter if she's above you, under you, beside you.
You don't shit where you eat.
You don't do that.
You
That's a
don't
no
do
no
that.
because that can ruin your job, your career. Imagine this man, like, for example, this man owns his own company. He's 45. He does some shit with her, right? And then gets a higher position, and then she blackmails him on something because I don't know, somewhere down the line she did a horrible job and he fires her.
Yeah.
Now what? Now here's the biggest thing. Imagine they do get together and now she starts doing a bad job because she feels like she can get away with it because her new boyfriend's the CEO of the company that she works at.
Yeah, there's so many like possibilities that could come out of
And
this.
not saying like that's the type of person she is or that that's the type of person he is, but at the same time, you don't know. So many people wear fake masks that you don't want to take the risk.
They're possibilities.
They are.
They're
I wouldn't.
possible
I
outcomes.
would not take it.
So more of the personal situations from her.
Yeah, go ahead.
After the birth control. She sent a photo of her and her friend with their new matching tattoos to everyone in the office, but I got the solo selfie with the twins halfway out. Twins are in quotations.
Yeah.
Um, at a work party, once the drinks were flowing, she was very touchy with me and at one point was pressing up against me, asking why my blood pressure was up. Oh, it's on site. If I was the wife, it's on site. When everyone crashed at the office at the end of the party, she walked out the back door, then texted me about a minute later to tell me that she was going to sit out in her car for a while till she felt okay to drive.
Yeah.
The things at the party were so blatant that the other coworkers noticed it and approached me about what was going on. People like to spill tea, so I decided I was no longer comfortable going into the mission trip with her, and I let her know. It led a bit of an argument um, where I brought all of this up and she denied all of it, that she just saw me as a friend and a coworker. At one point, she said the thing about the after work party was nonsense because she hadn't even been inebriated. I responded that that was even worse. If she was good to drive, why text me and tell me that she's sitting outside in her car for a while? At that point, she said, I'm not going to argue about this right now. Last week, Last week she showed up to a hangout at a local brewery I initiated, but to which I hadn't invited her. Very personal conversation and close body language. I didn't address it. Again, I apologize for the novel. I'm in a terrible place. I know that I need to get divorced so this isn't a good time for someone. Scroll. For someone to play mind games with me as I'm very vulnerable. And this is making me feel like I am never going to find another partner or spouse because it has completely crushed any confidence I might have of being able to read the signs and know if someone is interested in me or if I'm barking up the wrong tree. Any advice or input would be much appreciated.
Dude should have never admitted his feelings. Him saying that showed clear interest, and she realized she had an in.
It
He
should
should
have,
have shut it down very early on.
yeah.
Yeah, but so this is someone, I guarantee, and this is why this is actually one of the reasons. This is why I looked up the divorce rate, right? This is one of the many reasons for both sides, right? It's clear the woman's unhappy and unsatisfied in her marriage in some way, shape, or form, and she's not communicating it with her husband very well, or maybe she is, maybe he's not listening, who knows? But at the same time, he's doing the same thing. This man right here. This man is he's so happy that he's got some of that attention that or whatever it is that he's craving from someone else because he's also unhappy in his marriage.
Sounds like he liked the attention and she liked the thrill. I agree.
Yeah, I do agree, which is why she probably was like, "No, I don't, I don't have any feelings for you."
So that she has plausible deniability, but not really.
Yeah.
Not really. She doesn't really have plausible deniability in that. I think that she's really trying to rock the boat in a sense because she thinks that they are in the same boat. And he is confused on whether or not they actually are in the same boat. Um, I think that this isn't a confusing situation.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's being manipulated. I think that
And
she's kind of waiting for him to be more straightforward with.
and the moment he didn't reciprocate, she lost interest. Yeah, so I mean, dude, this is just one of those things where it's like it shouldn't be happening, you know? Like if both of these people were to, go back home and talk to their significant other and be like, this is what's going on. I haven't done anything, but I want us to fix it. They'll probably be sad about it, but at the same time, you know, they should understand. Now, if they refuse to hear you out, that's another. I mean, you can't do anything when the other person refuses to hear you.
Yeah.
At that point, you should just call it a day and finish the divorce.
I think like a big thing too is OP very rarely mentioned his wife in this whole scenario. Like he was
Yeah.
mentioning things that the coworker was doing, but wasn't mentioning like what his wife was feeling in all of this. He obviously didn't talk to her about it because the wife went to the office and was like questioning people.
I know.
So it's like he, and if he was really concerned about distancing himself, he should have fired her. You know, like at the end of the day, like you can get another worker, you can get another employee. Sure, you could say the same thing about your spouse. You can get another spouse, you can get another wife, whatever. But it's much easier to get a new employee and go through that process than get divorced and find a new wife.
Yeah, I agree. But here's the thing, right? If you are truly unhappy with it and that person refuses to hear you out, just leave, bro. Like, at that point, it's so one-sided. It doesn't matter. In the moment he didn't. Oh, that's what you said last. Yeah, it's just one-sided. If it's always one-sided, there's no point.
I think that OP was just trying to find a way out of the marriage also.
Yeah.
But I think that he needs to be honest with himself and say that he just wanted out of the relationship. Like he wants to be able to say like, "Oh, I tried to do everything that I could." But like
Yeah. You didn't do everything you could.
you still initiated when you shouldn't have.
Yep.
And it's like if it were really an issue, fire her. Get a new employee. Like that it's not that hard. And he's trying to make it seem like I don't know if I'll be able to have the ability to make romantic advances and see the signs. Why are you so worried about your next relationship when you're still currently in one?
Yeah, because he's already out of this one mentally. That's what I was saying before is like you're already cheating when you're mentally out of the relationship. And so I know both men and women do this, but to be honest with you, women disconnect a lot sooner than men do in a relationship if it's already over, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I
I've
don't think
experienced,
so.
well, out of my experience, let's say that way.
As a woman that has been in relationships,
Yeah.
I disagree.
Well, you also treat them the same way I do, though.
Yeah.
You don't just give up on them.
Right. So you can't make a generalization like that.
Well, that's why I said from my experience, because and from multiple of my friends' experiences, it's the they still try to make it last, but to be honest with you, most of the time she checks out before she really breaks up with you. And the man is still sitting there trying to communicate. And this isn't all the time, by the way. So don't think like I'm like, oh, this is 100% of the time, because it's not.
Just
Um,
in your experience.
but in my experience and multiple of my friends' experiences, yeah, it is. I mean, sexist. Laugh my ass off. No, because men do it too. Men do it. And I've seen it, right? Um, but out of my own personal experiences and multiple friends, I've noticed that they check out sooner, and when they check out, you'll see it. There's obvious signs of people checking out.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And I think like it's important to point out that most of your friends are also male.
Most of my friends are also male.
So that's why it's been mostly your experience and your friends' experience because you don't really have friends that are.
Well, that's what I just said. I mean, I'm not saying it's one person that doesn't. Just saying that it's everybody. I gotta shower and get ready for stream. I'm running behind. Y'all have a good night. Love you guys. Love you too, Finn. Also, I mean, we're probably gonna end stream here soon anyway because we only do this for like an hour to 2 hours. So I appreciate you lurking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, men do it too. But what I'm saying is like, and this is proof that men do it too. Even this guy is checked out. That's why I brought up people checking out the relationship early, is because this guy has checked out.
I think he's just kind of trying to make excuses for himself.
No, he is. He's trying because he's already checked out, and he's trying to um
Justify.
yeah. Sorry, I was reading what he was just lurking again though. But yeah, he's just trying to justify it.
Yeah.
As well as everyone else that checks out early.
Yes.
Everyone does it. Doesn't really matter,
What
who,
gender?
well, yeah, it doesn't matter what gender, like who they are, whether or not they check out. is entirely up to them too. Because this guy said, "Oh, I'm much happier thinking about this than thinking about his current
Relationship,
relationship."
his marriage. Okay, so let's circle back to the actual question instead of like analyzing the entire situation that he posted.
Yeah.
Am I being gaslit or am I crazy?
Um,
So based on everything, do you think that his coworker is gaslighting him or is he being crazy about it?
well, I don't think any of this can really revolve around gaslighting necessarily because they both want each other, but they both don't at the same time, right?
I am gonna have a different opinion on this one.
Okay, go for it.
I think that he is being gaslit just based on like the small details that he left, you know.
Yeah,
Um like when he asked her like how she feels about him
yeah,
and she was just like, I'm just trying to be your buddy. I'm just trying to be your friend. But also is offering a back rub to her boss. First and foremost, this is her boss.
yeah.
I don't know how many back rubs you offer to your friends.
So the reason why I said like I don't think he's being gaslit is because like this is a form of like someone that's so she's like a form of someone who's really interested, but because it's her boss, she doesn't want to. She wants to fill it out, right?
Okay, I'm gonna have a more clear example later on in the post after the work party.
Yeah,
And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit in my car for a little bit until I'm good to drive."
yeah,
And then she goes on to say later on, like, "That's not right because I wasn't even drunk." And he was like, "That makes it worse because why are you telling me that you're gonna be doing that if you weren't even drunk at the first place?" Now, she could argue, like, "Oh, I was just tired," right? That's fine, but why are you specifically telling only me this?
because she wanted him to come out and sit with her in the car.
Yeah, but she's trying to deny that and trying to make it seem like I don't know what you're even fucking talking about, dude.
Oh, yeah. So,
I think it's subtle just based on the situations that he's giving, but I do think that he's being gaslit. I think she's doing some sort of manipulation on him.
so I'm not saying it's not a possibility because I do think it is. But in my honest opinion, I really do think that he's not being gaslit because number one thing is that everything that he's asked her has been over text, right? And she denies it. Now, in person, she offers these things of
Like, come back to my room.
yeah. And I truly think it's because she doesn't I think that she wants this person, but also doesn't want to leave her marriage. So at the same time, she wants something outside of her marriage without leaving it. And the best way to do that is to deny even over text messages to other people. So that way, if those were brought up in court or those were brought up in a argument, that it would be like, oh, well, no, I didn't do that. See, I even told him that's not what I meant. But in person, she acts completely different.
That's gaslighting.
So, yeah, but it's not gaslighting him per se, because she's hiding the intentions from her current husband.
But she's also hiding it from him.
Well, true. I suppose that
It's
she
not
could
clear.
tell him.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not
so
clear even to him what she's
I was
wanting.
thinking over text, but you are right. She could just tell him in person. So not telling him in person is one thing. So yeah.
Like, I understand the text messages and having plausible deniability. Like, oh, see, I even told him here, like, it's in black and white that I said, I don't want this, or I'm just trying to be your friend, or whatever.
Yeah.
But she could have that conversation with him and be like, hey, like, I want to keep this on the down low. I don't want there to be any proof, but I do have feelings for you also. And, like, I'm not comfortable with sharing that over text message or over phone calls or whatever. but if you want to pursue this, we could do that and just hide it.
Yeah.
But she's denying
First
it
of all, I
point
think that's
blank.
fucked up. And you just hide and just let go of the relationship
I'm not
at that
saying
point.
that it's right, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like
That's
I'm saying he's being gaslit.
so. Here's the thing.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Yep.
If he is being gaslit, I don't. I'm not too sure that she even knows that she's gaslighting them.
Well, no, most people who do gaslight don't initially think that they are doing it.
Yeah.
I think that she knows that she's manipulating him.
Fair. Okay. But
Uh,
I'll definitely agree with that because she is because she knows what like she's kind of doing. Like, I mean, especially my biggest thing is, oh, they got tattoos, but why did I receive the one special picture that no one else did
right.
of her? How do you put it?
Twins.
Twins. We both know what that is.
We all know what that is.
Yeah.
And it's like it's very obvious what she wants, but she's telling him, "No, I'm just trying to be your friend."
You know, one thing that we didn't look at, and this is gonna be, I guess, out of the comfort zone to talk about, or
Okay.
for other people to hear about. Maybe it's a kink of hers.
Deniability?
Deniability. Her being like, oh, well, I want him to just come take me.
Like I want him to make the first move.
Yeah.
Like I want him to be man enough or like have the balls enough to.
Yeah, and she leaves these opportunities open like this for him to come do it.
Yeah, kind of like in the movies.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of crazy.
That's why I said, well, yeah, it's batshit crazy, but that's actually probably the realest answer to this whole thing is like that's actually what it is for her.
Like she wants to deny him so much that he finally is like, I'm just gonna fucking take it because it's very obvious that like,
Or her being like, oh no, of course I don't want it, and then her giving him opportunities to come get it.
like CNC.
Yeah, like, and I'm sure she's seen a bunch of these movies, and she's like, yes, I want it just like that movie.
No, do you know what CNC is?
What?
Consensual, non-consensual?
Oh yeah, from the BDSM community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah. But I mean, that has to be made clear, first of all.
Well, yeah, it hasn't been made clear, but what I don't mean like consensual, non-consensual. I mean like something like she wants to feel chased and wanted type of thing.
She wants the passion to take over.
Yeah, she wants him to come out there. Like, for example, given the opportunity during a work trip, invite me to her room to watch a movie. Yeah, you want to come watch a movie with me? You know, that's her opportunity, even though she's going, oh, no, I have no feelings for you whatsoever. But inviting you to watch a movie in her room.
See, most of the first couple things could be like, oh, I am just trying to be your friend. Like she could genuinely just want to watch a movie with him. But
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
That's weird as shit when you ask about his sex life as well.
Yeah, and tell him about your own. Like, I'm gonna be real. If you had a coworker and she was telling you about her sex life and you were like turning right around and you were telling her about ours, I'd be upset.
Fair.
I'd be very upset.
That's fair.
But it's a different situation if you're talking to like I know who you're talking to. I know that that's your friend. It doesn't matter if it's male or female or like guy or girl, whatever. I don't care about that. But if you let me know that this person is in your life and that you have that type of relationship with them, I'd feel more okay with that. There's like a clear disconnect between him and his
Unless it was a dude.
What?
Finn said unless it was a dude.
Like if you were talking to someone about like a dude about our sex life?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care.
No, she just means friend in general.
I don't care either way.
I'll be honest with you, I don't talk about that with anyone. So
I do, but you know that.
I know that, but I also know why you talked about it. Because you'd be like, listen here, he ain't.
Be careful.
You're like,
Be
listen here, ain't no one throw it down like he has.
careful.
You'd be like, you know how many guys I've been with? Ain't nobody throwing it down like he
And I'll be
does.
picking it up.
That's right.
Yeah, but or like giving advice or something.
Hey, let's just say
Yo,
I was also a pipe welder for a long time
he
too.
be laying the pipe.
I really do. I really do know how to lay some pipe
He
down, if
be
you know what I
laying
mean.
the pipe.
Crazy. Superfly. Yeah. So, like, I think, you know, the guy could be getting gaslit for sure. But at the same time, I truly 100% think that it's a kink of hers and she gets it from watching like some movie for real. Just like me for real.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. But yeah, I think it's just like a kink that she has and she wants him to, but he's not like taking the initiative because it seems like this guy actually is a good guy that just goes off of straight communication. So
Yeah.
I do think she is also manipulating him and to try to do what she wants.
I think that this
That's
goes
the thing.
back to like in the first paragraph here where he says he has nice guy syndrome.
Yeah.
I think that goes back to like the people pleasing
Yeah.
when he can't like decipher between like, am I crazy for thinking this or like, am I really being gaslit? Because he
Finn.
genuinely is like a good dude. But I do think that he is being gaslit. Whether or not she knows that she's doing it
Yeah.
is still up in the air because we don't have like her perspective on it or like her side of things. Because he may be doing, he could say that he's doing XYZ, but he could also be doing ABC, and we just don't know it because he is obviously trying to paint himself as kind of like a nice guy.
Also, another thing, a lot of people, and I do mean a lot of the quote unquote nice guys are not nice guys. They are literally how do I put this? This is why I don't like calling anyone a nice guy or hearing some friends call themselves nice guys because the whole nice guy thing is basically saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm so nice to her or whoever I'm with, like, you know, I let her do whatever she wants." First of all, you say let.
Yeah.
Second of all, most of these people, and it's not everybody, obviously, but most of the people that say that they're like an actual, like a nice guy, or say that, oh, you have nice guy syndrome. The truth is that you're being fake.
See, that's why I was making the discrepancy between a nice guy versus people pleaser, because on Reddit and kind of like in context, nice guys and nice girls generally aren't nice.
Yeah.
If you're self-proclaimed as a nice girl or a nice guy, you're generally not. That's why I was saying like those subreddits would be kind of fun to delve into at one point.
Yeah, we should.
Because it's like those are the guys that are like, oh, nice guys always finish last, when in reality you're not.
I'm a nice person, people pleaser, but I'm also an asshole. Yes. Yes.
There's a difference between being a nice person and being a nice guy
But
slash girl.
if you want me to be honest, Finn, you also overthink everything.
Oh yeah, and he knows that.
And you take no advice that anyone gives you.
He knows that too. I mean, no, he listens to me.
Sometimes. No.
Most of the time.
Sometimes.
I mean, dude, if I'm making this Word doc for you and you don't follow it,
Oh,
I'm
for
gonna be
real?
so mad.
Shit, I'm gonna be mad for you.
But I do
She
see
spent
like
so much time on this Word document. By
I'm
the
still
way, if you
working on it.
actually don't follow it, I will be mad at you. Damn, they called you a out, Finn. Oh no, no, for real. Like I call everyone out. I'll be honest. Like I'm the person you go to when like I'm a real person, right? I'm not going to just sugarcoat stuff. I'm pretty blunt, but at the same time, I'm not going to be like,
An asshole about it.
I know, not fully an asshole about it. I mean, it may come across as me being an asshole, but I don't, I mean it with good intentions,
Well,
right?
if someone knows you well enough to ask you for advice, they also know how you are.
Yeah,
And they also know not to come to you unless they want it straight up,
yeah.
which is why I love you
I
because
love you
you
too.
let me finish.
I'll do that later.
Yo, yo, not in front of the children.
The chill win? No,
Anyways,
the only thing I have may have to wait on is the nutrition meal list because I gotta have the money.
I
That's fine,
actually
yeah.
go into that on the document because I go into a breakdown of the money.
Yeah,
Um,
trust me, when you get it, if you don't pay attention to this, I'm like, when I say I am going to be mad, I'm going to be mad at you, bro.
yeah, I do go into like initially it may seem like you're spending a lot more, but you're going to be getting more meals out of it, and I go into the price discrepancies as well. Um, of doing like homemade stuff versus like the pre-made meals that are initially cheaper. But that's all in the Word document. Um, but yeah, that is why I do love you. I understand them and I try to work through them and I do treat people with respect. And that's all it comes down to. You know, you are trying your best to make yourself better every day. It's uh Kraden actually has this tattooed on him. It's the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen. It just basically means keep moving forward, bettering yourself little by little.
Wow, you're telling me about my tattoos now?
Yeah. Um
Sounds good to me. I would follow it. Yeah, you better follow the thing that she made for you. But yeah, if you want to know what she means by Kaizen, yeah, I'm gonna show you what. Oh, here you go.
Improvement, change for better.
What's that noise? Oh, that's
It's
the. Oh
the
yeah, the
music.
music. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm tripping over here.
Old.
Right? Nah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. It means Kaizen. It just means good change. Just continue and improve. Pretty much. That's all it is.
I'm about to get Ikigai on me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, but yeah, that is why I love you because you will tell it like it is. You won't coddle somebody.
Yeah.
And I am different in a way where like I'll still tell you how it is. Like I'll still tell it like it is, but I'll try to do it in a way that is gonna make it more digestible for you.
Yeah, she will. And I'm also like relatively still open-minded, even being more on the conservative side of things.
I think between the two of us, I'm the more open-minded one.
You are, but I am still open-minded because, I'm not stuck in like, oh, you know, I'm all for like, hey, this is what my beliefs are, but if, by all means, you're welcome to say that, or bring up like facts or anything to either prove me wrong.
Well, you guys can attest that even though I can be a bit selfish sometimes and be too much into my feelings when I overthink, that I'm generally not a bad person, open-minded and open to change.
I love that. We'll get a matching tattoo with you, Frida. Okay,
You can't get a matching tattoo with him before I do.
so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Number one, you better get the tattoo tattooed right. You either you either go from top down, as in like ka is like first and then zen is second, or because if you get it right to left, I'm gonna beat you. Okay, because that actually means something completely different.
Yeah. That's how people get tattooed fried chicken on themselves.
Yeah, but I think we'll end stream here with this, and then I'll get this uploaded
What if I
to
like it?
what if what if I like it? Well, it's your body.
It's your body, it's your choice.
That's so cliche to say, but I mean, it's true. I mean, I don't give a fuck, bro. It's not like it's bothering my life to, that something's on you.
If you want to walk around looking dumb, that's on you.
Yeah, for real. Right? I mean, if you want to, go get a tattoo of Justin Bieber, it's not like I'm gonna hate you.
I might. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
See, I don't hate anyone, but I will say if you get a tattoo of Justin Bieber, it better have the lines "baby, baby, baby."
That's just because
Oh.
that's the only song you know by him.
No, actually, it's not. There's one other song that I actually do. Oh, I can't bring it up. Fucking, we get copyrighted. Damn. Um, I'm gonna look up the lyrics.
Is it Despacito?
No,
Oh, okay.
is that actually by him?
Yes.
Oh, I know that song a little bit. I don't remember the name of it, so I have to look.
Oh,
Oh, it's this one.
are you sure it's that one or is it Love Yourself? Good night, Finn.
It is. It's this one.
What is it?
So the actual other song I knew by him is "Lonely" by Justin Bieber. I'm be real with you. When you listen to it compared to his other stuff that he has, I've never listened to his other stuff. I just know the baby song because it went viral, obviously. But
A lot of his songs went viral.
yeah, a lot of them did. But this one didn't, and it deserves to
Oh,
because yeah, this one's really good.
you giving him his flowers?
Yeah,
That's so cute.
yeah. No, this one actually deserves to because it's when he's already grown up, he's more mature, and like he talks about his life and stuff,
Mm,
and like how he actually regrets some of it,
that's
and like
sweet.
being popular as a kid and having to do all these things that you did do, and he's like he appreciates that he didn't have to live a life where he was poor,
Right.
but he was saying that he had no friends.
Yeah, it's like
He
one
didn't he
thing at the
couldn't
expense of another.
he could never be real, and all this stuff, and how he was saying that he always felt lonely and still does.
Yeah.
It's something that's actually real coming from him compared to like his life as a kid where nothing was real.
Well, yeah, because he was trying to take off, but in his more recent stuff, he does have a lot of like real life situations that he delves into.
Yeah.
I do actually kind of enjoy some of his songs.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just end here, and then we'll do this every Sunday night and every Wednesday night, and then I'll post it all to YouTube as a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
All right.
okay, sounds good.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, thank you all.